Welcome to Biz Coach and Coffee, where our guests are experts, entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants that share tips, strategies, and tactics to help small business entrepreneurs grow their business for long-term success. Please welcome your host, Biz Coach Steve Feld.
Hello, I'm Biz Coach Steve Feld, and my goal is to stop business owners from suffering entrepreneurial depression and start making running their businesses much easier. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to crack multiple 6 and 7 figures without burning themselves out. Today, we have another great guest for you. We have Samantha Hallburn. Now, Samantha, she's the CEO and founder of Simplified Accounting Management and PBS Accounting and Tax. I really wonder what she does. So please welcome Samantha.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Well, I think we got it covered that you're in the accounting tax world,
Yeah.
which is fantastic.
Yep.
So tell us, how did you get into that industry to begin with?
Well, actually, it sort of happened by accident, but it was a happy little accident, as Bob Rosslet says. I was in banking and lending and as a career, and then on the side, I was helping my clients understand their books by teaching them how to produce their financial statements that they needed to give me that they had no idea how to give me. And through that process of helping them kind of on the side, I realized, oh my gosh, I actually really enjoyed this part of it. And I loved actually helping these business owners way more than, okay, here's your loan, but, actually understand their business and get their numbers and understand the whole process. And in 2015, I just decided, you know what, I'm done with corporate America. So I'm going to just do this full time. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into, really, because the need is so huge, especially in the small business world. But yeah, it went from me just helping my customers so they could give me something else I needed to, okay, I actually really enjoy doing this.
Well, I'm glad there's people like you out there, because I was with
Thank you.
a ton of small business owners. And I always hear number one thing that they hate in their own business is accounting.
Yep.
I hate to say it, you and I are number lovers.
Yep.
And I always tell them, if you hate accounting, then how much time and effort are you wasting on it?
Yeah.
And they tell me horror story after horror story.
Yes.
And I'm doing the math and I'm adding it up going, it's actually costing your business like tens of thousands of dollars a year. And they're like, how do you figure? It's like, it's your time, your time.
And because they don't really know what they're doing, they're not maximizing on their deductions. They're not capitalizing on software solutions. I had a customer last year who brand new business, really successful, making lots of money. We switched him to an S Corp immediately right out of the gate, and it saved him about $30,000 in taxes. And had we not been involved to give him that guidance, he would have been paying at least $30,000 more in taxes. So there's things like that too, that when you go at it alone, you just don't know what you don't know, and you can't take advantage of things like that.
Exactly. It's taking the business owner 10 hours to do something that'll take you 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you'll know what to do, and you're going to do it a lot better, and you're going to know the laws around it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And so where the coaching came in is I just, I would help my customers, and that became more and more of a request. And then I started teaching through SCORE International and other, private things. And in 21, I founded my consulting company and all we do is QuickBooks Online education. Nice. So, there's quite a need for education out there.
Oh, absolutely. And do you find it shocking how many small business owners do not have any type of accounting system set up in their business?
I actually do find it shocking because I live in that world. So to me, everybody's supposed to know about it or should know about it by now, but it's incredible how many people are still using like Excel spreadsheets as their accounting tool, and they get crafty and they get complicated with them, but it's just not the same as having an accounting solution, let alone an accounting partner or professional that you're working hand in hand with.
It's true. I'll give you a horror story. Years ago, I went to go visit a prospect, $18 million in revenue. They take us to an area and it looked like it was a picture out of the 50s, just desk after desk and all these people at the desks in a giant room, just on 10 key type machines.
Yeah.
They did all their books on ledger paper. This is only 6 years ago, people.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't like decades and decades ago.
Right.
One computer in this entire business, 18 million, one computer. So we came and showed them efficiencies, exactly what you're talking about, to save them money.
Yeah, I don't understand how anybody can even want to do that. I think a lot of it is just you don't know any better. It's what you know, so it's comfortable, and you don't have to learn anything new, and you don't have to rely on other people. You just know what you know, and that's scary too, because there's so much you're probably missing out on.
And folks who are listening and going, what the heck are they talking about ledger paper? Don't Google it and
Google it and
don't use it. Don't.
Right. Don't ever try this at home.
We'll save those for the older experts, more seasoned, tenured people. Now, when a business owner coming to, what do you think you see right? You'll probably see it right away, but what do you see as their like number one concern regarding taxes, accounting?
Well, am I saving the most I can in tax money by getting the most write-offs that I can? I think is probably still the number one thing. We do a lot with job costing and projects and construction and all industries really, but around project management. So that's becoming a bigger and bigger thing that is kind of lumped into the accounting, mostly because you need your project management and your accounting to be syncing. And so some solutions do that, some solutions don't. So then you have to do double duty and make sure that you get the numbers from one place into the next. So that complicates things a little bit for accounting. Payroll and employee management is a huge concern that you don't really think of as accounting, and it really isn't, but we see it a lot because what we really do is we partner with businesses and help them run their business on the back end. So we're doing all of it for them or with them. And so payroll is huge, another concern. And do I have enough money? Can I hire? What are my numbers as far as my percentages, my payroll too high? That type of thing. That's a big concern too, because it is the most expensive part of running your business, period. No matter what industry, no matter how successful you are, no matter how little or big you are, it's the biggest part.
Absolutely. You brought up a good point. And by you helping them with the payroll and deductions and making sure it's all legal, don't you think it's also it's still everything I'm reading, it's still one of the top 3 things that IRS love to go after small businesses.
Oh, yeah.
Violating payroll.
Compliance is huge. Not paying your payroll taxes, not knowing the agencies that you need to sign your business up with to make sure you're paying into every part that you're supposed to pay into. I have businesses all the time that, especially in the remote culture we have now where you can hire from anywhere, you have to still keep up with every single state's regulation. And I think a lot of people still think, oh, I'll just hire them out of my home office and I don't have to worry about any of that. But it's far from true. Time management, especially remotely, is a big one on people's minds. Like, how do I make sure my employees are doing what they're supposed to be doing? And how do I track them? And how can I believe them? And it's a big thing for a lot of businesses, but it can only lead to greatness if you do it right, because you have such a bigger reach potentially. And you can hire the talent that's right for the job versus worrying about just who's in your specific area. But yeah, I mean, it's huge. It's a huge concern. It's a huge problem that businesses face because they didn't go into business to be HR managers. They went into business to make stuff or build stuff or offer services.
Exactly. And you brought up something a moment ago, and you brought up about job costing. So a lot of the folks who are listening are coaches, consultants, experts, and they're probably going, what is she talking about? Can
Yeah.
you explain what I know what it is, but can you explain what job costing is and
Sure.
how it could help them actually in their businesses?
Yeah, it's a great tool. So job costing is anytime you have costs associated with producing the thing that you're selling, whether it's a product or a service. Mostly services if you're talking job costing. But even with a lot of manufacturers, we have people that they have a big, huge order. So they want to make sure that everything in that order that they're actually making money, because you don't realize sometimes you're not making money. You see a good number, but when you do all the ticking and tying of payroll and workman's comp and insurances and overhead, all of that, plus the cost of the actual production, you may not really be making any money. So job costing allows you to segment whether it's a customer, whether it's an actual job or project in the construction world, whether it's a big, huge order and you just want to track everything around that specific order. We use it a lot in consulting because you want to make sure that your time, especially if you have to include others in producing the consultations, that you're actually making money on the time that you're spending. Because it's one of those things where it's easy to lose track of, especially when you have salaried employees, what the real cost is, because they don't get paid more or less. But you want to know, okay, if I were charging hourly, how much would I have actually made on this money, on this deal? And that really helps a lot. So job costing is just breaking everything down around one particular project, job, order, customer.
And I think it's a great tool to use, especially I had one of my businesses was consulting. Everything was job costed. And the
Yes.
reason is I knew which projects I can make money on. And we're not talking just revenue, because I think business owners are always thinking revenue, revenue. Revenue is what you brag about. Profit is what you take home to mama.
Yep. Or don't. Ha!
Or yeah.
Or don't. Yeah. Or what you were supposed to take home to mama, but it never kind of happened.
Exactly. Because we hear companies touting, oh, we made $1 billion, but they're actually cash poor. They're broke on the bottom.
Yeah. One of the things we teach is look at your balance sheet, and you might have $100,000 in the bank, but if you have $150,000 in unpaid payables, it's not a good number, $100,000. So you got to really look at both sides. And that's part of the consulting that we do, is teaching people what that actually means. And so many businesses, and I'm going to go with 90% that I've seen, when they're small, they don't even look at their balance sheet. They don't even know what their balance sheet represents. They don't understand why they need it. They only need it for taxes, or maybe even not if they're single member LLCs or sole props. So it's really important to understand both sides of your business. And that's a lot of what we teach. But not only that, you can't understand it if you don't put the information in.
Right.
You're only going to get a report back as good as the information you put in. So then, there goes all that other coaching.
That's true. And the language of business is your financials, is numbers. It's not English or anything like that. It's numbers, people. And you really need to know your numbers to make better decisions. If you can't manage it, or if you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
Yeah, right. And you don't know where the problems are. You don't know what to fix. You don't know how to fix it, or even go to someplace to learn how to fix it if you don't know what the problem is.
That's it. So I think we're both on the same page. Would you agree that we're telling everyone right now, look at your financials every month?
Yes. Know what they mean, know what they are, know how to produce them, how to put them in. Another big thing for businesses is, even if you're delegating this, you need to know how to look at it, or how to find it, or how to go in and grab the information you need without relying on someone else. You should still learn and understand yourself.
Exactly. And if you don't understand what it all means on those balance sheets, profit loss statements, all that, get someone like Samantha. I'm sure she would be more than happy to sit down with you and explain.
Good.
By moving one lever, you're going to create shifts in other areas of your business, not just one other area. It could be multiple.
Right.
But you really need to know your numbers.
That's right. Yes.
I'm a big fan of knowing your numbers.
Well, great.
So Look, what is one challenge or failure that you've had in your business that you had to overcome?
Trying to keep everything for too long myself.
Mm.
I didn't start scaling until I was almost, I mean, it was almost devastating how long I waited, because by the time I got to the place where I decided I needed to get out of my own way and get people involved that could help me, I was dropping the balls so bad because I just couldn't juggle. I couldn't do it all myself. And I waited too long. And I say that because of the emotional pressure and stress it caused me, the physically. I mean, I was almost in the hospital a couple times with how just overwhelmingly stressed I got and how it affected my body. And it just wasn't smart. And I see it a lot with my small business clients that they do the same thing. And I got too wrapped up into wanting to help everybody and not realizing, okay, wait, I am a business. I do have boundaries, or I should have boundaries. And I wasn't taking them seriously. I would say I had them, but then I wouldn't take it seriously and follow them. And I wouldn't treat myself the way I was treating my customers as far as that was concerned. And so I think that's one of the biggest things I can offer is hire before you need to. And it's so scary because you don't think you can afford it. But a good employee that's doing a specific job for you can make you 3 to 10 times what you're paying them by giving you either your time back or allowing you to focus on things that are revenue generating instead of all these little tasks that need to get done but don't bring you in any money. Or they can bring you new business or new blood or new ideas that you didn't think of yourself. And if you give them the power to do that and the freedom to be, a tool for you, it can be hugely game changing for you.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more on this one. I'm a big believer hiring the best at whatever position you're looking to hire. Find
Yes.
someone who's smarter than you in that position.
Yes.
And the reason is they're going to help you grow your business a lot faster than you all by yourself.
Yep. There's a saying, great leaders don't know everything. They find the right people that know the things and put them all on the same team, and that's what you want. You want your team, a team managed company, to where you're working constantly on your vision and on the business part of it, but not in the business. After a while, you need to step away and hire to do that.
I couldn't agree with you more. One of the best leaders I ever met. He goes, listen, I'm not the smartest guy in the shed. That's
Right.
it. And he goes, but I am unbelievable at hiring the best talent for the right position.
Yep.
And just telling them what I need from them and giving them the tools and support they need and stay
Right.
the hell out of the way. They tell
Yep.
me what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And they've fired me from from things I'm not good at. One of the things I am not good at is billing. I hate sitting down and having to ask people for money. And it's hilarious because I work with money every day, but asking people for money or to pay their bill, I'm not good at that. So my team fired me. They're like, look, Sam, you can't do this anymore. We're too far behind and we're scrambling. So you're fired. We're going to take this over. And they just did. And they got us our money. And I was like, oh yeah, that's better.
But see, that's a great point. Your team told you and you
Yep.
listened.
And I listened because they were not wrong with what they were saying. There has been times where my team has had ideas and I'm like, yeah, I'm not a fan, but I always make sure they feel comfortable to bring that to me and to correct me or to ask me to step aside on something because it's not working. I always make sure they feel comfortable doing that.
Oh, excellent. How can, people might go, oh my God, I'm trying to struggle through doing my own accounting and I can't figure out which way is up. So how could they get a hold of you?
Well, there's a few ways. Our email is info@SamIncServices, INC, not INK, services.com. We have a toll-free number you can call or text, 866-472-7669. And then we are on Instagram as well at sam.inc.services.
Great. And we will have all those links in the show notes. So definitely, if you're trying to do all the accounting or even some of the accounting and you hate it and don't understand it and you're frustrated, stop the madness, reach out to Samantha and get the help.
Yes,
End
definitely.
that now, please.
It's the end of the year. There is no better time than right now to either put yourself in a place where you're starting the new year right and getting rid of the headaches, or cleaning up a mess that you created this year and before your taxes are done or due.
Absolutely. Any final words before we get out of here?
For business owners, I think just in general, I think remember your big picture, remember your vision, remember why you started your business, and try to stay in that lane, whether that and delegate everything else. Everything else you don't love to do, delegate is important.
Absolutely. Well, Samantha, thank you so much for being our guest on Biz
Welcome.
Coach and Coffee.
Thanks for having me.
Great, folks. And if you like Samantha and our other guests, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And I'm sure Samantha, she's a small business owner too. She probably wants a little love, so leave her some positive feedback in the comment section.
I'd love it.
Well, thank you again, Samantha, and to all the business owners out there. This is Biz Coach Steve Feld wishing you and your business much success.
We hope you enjoyed today's topic. If you'd like to discuss how you can apply these strategies in your business, let us know. This episode is sponsored by Spotlight Books. Get your own expert book written about you in 30 days. Set yourself apart from the competition. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to give us your comments. We look forward to hearing from you on Biz Coach and Coffee.